Hi everybody. I hope the audio is working. So it's not always easy. They make a lot of changes. Let's see if I'm on. See if everything's working. It looks like I'm on okay, and it is late again, and I'm very, very sorry. It just can't be helped because we're getting so much brought in, and people are calling, and I don't answer the phone, okay? If I don't know your number, I don't answer the phone anymore because of all the retaliation that we receive. So if you can write messages and then just be patient because we're getting a lot of messages in. Um, so you can, text or message many different ways. Um, and that will you can write a letter, can write a letter, um, you know, because I cannot even tell you, we've been put through hell almost for 5 years, especially starting in January of 2023. And before that, even, 2020, all the lies, all the misinformation, it was just like a psyop then. At least they were friendly, right? At least they were friendly, but it was a psyop. They surround you and they mislead you and they just try to control you. And so, it is obstruction of justice. And one of those is Representative Veronica Escobar. And we'll be talking about her today. And of course, Ernest Christopher Grant, of course, the generals, and of course, Governor Abbott, Greg Abbott, who, y'all, he's just dirty. He's just dirty. And it is, you know, um, that is a little risky saying that in Texas because Texas, I don't know, maybe you can tell me the feedback that you get. So let's begin. You can give me some feedback on how you feel about Governor Greg Abbott because, um, he's dirty. He's dirty. Uh, and it's a hunt, and it's a hunt. Um, and it's more than that. It's even more than that. And so I'm going to explain it to you today. We've known for a long time, and even though everyone in El Paso that is facing all of the evidence, looking at all the evidence, absolutely knows already that Veronica Escobar is dirty, that she is cartel-tied, and we've been saying that for a long time. But so is Governor Abbott, and this is, uh, you know, and it has been confirmed. It has been confirmed by hard evidence, and a lot of it, and a lot of it. So let's begin. 1,740. Let's see, 1,700, and here we are, 46, 1,746. I just want to be able to see all the messages. So we've been doing this for gosh, it's way more than 1,746 live streams, okay? Because for years I was doing 2 live streams a day. I wanted to go on earlier today, but we were just really going through some paperwork that we received, um, confirming even more. It just puts you over the edge. It says, okay, that's it. That's it. When you get these indictments, when you get proof of um, cartel managing the 34th Judicial District Attorney's Office in El Paso, when you get confirmation that you have cartel running the operations in the prosecuting office in El Paso, then that's it. You have to let everyone know because think about all the cases. Think about the injustice that is. Think about the disenfranchisement that is. Um, And because we know if that person is, and we'll release the name and all that, but if, and there's more, and there's more, right? So, but just think about this. If you have Mexican cartel running the prosecuting office during Bill Hicks and James Montoya, who both were illegitimate, unlawful, the usurper, the 2028 stamp, that they failed to install legally, as the Texas Constitution requires them to do, by signing the statement of officer, which in layman's terms is the anti-bribe statement. The anti-bribe statement, they're supposed to sign that. It's a promise to the people that they did not take a bribe, that they're not doing this for a bribe, even though Bill Hicks admitted that he did, right? But and he failed to sign it. He failed to sign it, and so did James Montoya. And you have to sign it and file it before you take the oath of office. And it is very clearly stated in the Texas Constitution that that's required. And the Secretary of State under Greg Abbott sends a congratulations, you are now appointed, or congratulations, you are now elected. Here is a statement of officer. You must sign this and file it before you take your oath of office. They get this simple instruction. These are lawyers. These are supposed to be the best of the lawyers, being the head district attorney, being the prosecutor for a county like El Paso, for a 34th judicial district like El Paso. You think that this would be cream of the crop when it comes to attorneys, but they're not. They're not. They're bottom of the barrel because they do not sign. They're anti. This is two district attorneys in a row. Two district attorneys in a row now that did not sign their anti-bribe statement to promise to the people that they did not take a bribe. And of course, they just ignored that. They took their oath of office and proceeded to botch every case and every, when they work with the FBI, when they work with the sheriff's department, when they work with the Rangers, they're botching those cases too. Okay. And even the federal case, the Walmart case, they botched that too. And so it is, just so much information coming in where they are proven that the evidence shows that the cartel have, part of the DA's office botching that, the federal courthouse. And now we know that. We know that they've botched it. We know that they've sabotaged the judicial system in El Paso. So, who has the duty to oversee that? And that would be Representative Veronica Escobar, right? Veronica Escobar. And we know that she's cartel-tied. We know that she's part of it, and her actions speak that she is cartel-tied, that she is aiding and abetting a terroristic, a T organization, the Mexican cartel, that she's absolutely letting them run a criminal trafficking operation with impunity, and also doing whatever she can to make it very, very easy for them to do that. And you're talking, gosh, is so much harm, so much harm, so much theft, so much harm, so much death. It's a bloody operation. It's a bloody operation, and she's with them. She's with them. She's dirty, and so is Governor Abbott. Governor Abbott appointed Bill Hicks Both Governor Abbott and Representative Veronica Escobar have been notified repeatedly of this situation in El Paso. They have been absolutely notified. And, but they are compromised. Governor Abbott is compromised. The evidence is going to come out. Um, and you're going to be like um so upset, so upset. He absolutely is doing whatever he could in these years to allow the cartel to operate freely across that border and infiltrate into our military and into our judicial system and into our communities, and then do harm over in Juarez, Mexico. They don't care about migrants, okay? They don't care about Mexicans. They don't care about Germans. They don't care about Americans. They are inhumane. They don't care about children. No, they care about their pocketbook and their election campaign funds. That's what they care about. Um, and if that means we have to have a bloody Walmart mass shooting to protect their campaign um, endeavors, then that's what we'll have. That's absolute. If it means killing soldiers, then okay, and we will not have a district attorney. We'll have botched cases. We'll have seal the deal. We'll have false narratives. Absolutely, Governor Abbott could have debunked the false narrative very easily along that border with the Walmart mass shooting and with Richard's case, and he didn't. He didn't, because he's compromised. He's with them. He's with Veronica Escobar. It's really interesting because one's a Democrat and one's a Republican, but I think they go to the same galas. I think they go to the same dinner parties. I think they, they are absolutely collude and conspire together. It seems like it because they are absolutely working for the same ends, for the cartel, for the Mexican cartel, and for the criminal trafficking network that is hurting so many people. So that's really the main, of course, Ernest Christopher Grant is a really big player in all of this, because with the video, it confirms that what he was saying was absolutely, uh, and the El Paso Police Department called it out, not us, but they called it out and said it was a lie, that the video didn't show what he said. And the police, Lionel Gutierrez, is now proven also a liar. And, silent for, over 6 years with this case, this bloody case, and letting the victims, uh, be treated the way they've been treated. Oh, let's just hug each other, and just after we have squeezed and squeezed millions of taxpayers' money from an open checkbook, we'll just, like, brush it under the rug and just forget about it. And you just better forget about it. It's done. It's done. No, it's not done. It is not done. Okay? That Walmart mass shooting case is not done. Justice needs to be done. And, they're so used to, like with the JFK or whatever, but times are different now, and we have a different sheriff in town, and we have much better ways of getting hard evidence, much quicker. And so, it's it's going to be the will of the people. The will of the people will have to determine Um, and my will is there, our will is there to get justice for the victims of the Walmart mass shooting, for the people of El Paso, the taxpayers that had to endure this, for those that were hypnotized by a false narrative that was really upsetting, a super upsetting false narrative that puts hate in the heart, right? Unnecessarily, because it was a false narrative. And so, the animosity and everything was unnecessary, was absolutely unnecessary. So it the crimes are, you know, there's a magnitude of crimes, um, and we'll focus on a few of them. So don't be insulted if we don't include how you were violated in all of this, because there's so many violations. But we were absolutely violated on every front, from in the military, from theft, from bloody death, to assault, to, you know, just messing with our community and preventing a prosperous future. Because when you mess with a community like this for this long and take this much millions of dollars from them, then, things that could have been that we can't see, the seen and the unseen, right? The unseen that could have been, we were prevented from having. And so the crimes that Representative Veronica Escobar, who's absolutely so dirty, and Governor Greg Abbott for appointing Bill Hicks and not addressing that he failed, that he usurped that office, because he failed and tampered with documents, because he wanted to get around signing the anti bribe statement. The same with Montoya, wanted to get around it. They're lawyers, after all, they are very particular on what they sign. Um, and so they wanted to get around it. And that's against the law. And they tampered with documents. You see the 2028 stamp from James Montoya. He's absolutely criminal. He needs to be arrested. And so does Bill Hicks. So, and I would say so does Greg Abbott, and so does Representative Veronica Escobar. And of course, so does Leilani Hart. So does Leilani Hart. She needs to be arrested. And I know this sounds like, oh my gosh, you want the generals arrested, you want the governor of Texas arrested, you want the representative for El Paso arrested, you want the failed DAs to be arrested. Um, they're criminal. They're criminal. Okay, and we've got the indictments, and their criminality um, doesn't stop either in hurting hundreds of thousands of children, in hurting our national security, and hurting our soldiers, our murdered soldiers, and hurting the women that are being raped and trafficked across that border, those that are um, victims to the substance that they're bringing over, the illegal substances, the theft of weapons and ammunition, to the unbelievable extent. Unbelievable. Our military is a $1 trillion military, and it sure doesn't look like it. And then, of course, with other assaults, they violated us. They've assaulted us in so many different ways, and we're going to focus on just really the most egregious, the ones that we have like 100% no arguing evidence for. And so, if I just want to say, don't be offended if we don't include, because we're going to be posting our letters, um our claims, we'll be posting them. Don't be offended if something is left off. We're just moving forward, and everything is with time, right? and we can always go back and repeat, and add extra as more and more evidence comes in. So we want to say thank you so much. Thank you. They need to be arrested now. Yes, it's a two-tier justice system. Oh yeah, absolutely. We have confirmed that the cartel are tied to Veronica Escobar and Governor Greg Abbott. Okay, and that they were running the DA's office and the federal courthouse and in the magistrate court and the medical examiners. I mean, they had control over our system, and that's why. And they were allowed to have it, and they were even placed in that system. Governor Abbott appointed Bill Hicks. Bill Hicks is so dirty. I mean, he was the attorney for Purchase, and Purchase Funeral Homes is who handled the funerals for the Walmart victims, right? And that I'm telling you, when you look at the contracts, when you look at everything, it is so dirty. It's theft, and it is very evil. It's all very, very evil. And the Mexican cartel are not working for Americans. Okay? They're not working for Americans. They're working for their pocketbook. They're working for the cartel leaders. And it can get very, very brutal. And we don't want that brutality in our country. At least I don't want it, because look at what they did to Richard. So this absolutely the Walmart mass shooting. Okay, the Walmart mass shooting. And Governor Abbott was aiding and abetting them, and is still aiding and abetting them. Okay, he is actively aiding and abetting our enemies, our enemies. Okay, and so is Veronica Escobar, and we pay their salary. Okay, we pay all their expenses, and so we have a say so in this. They work for us. They work for us. We are a government of the people, by the people, for the people. And they have forgotten who they work for and their loyalties. They have no loyalties except for to the cartel, to their pocketbook for personal gain. And that has been confirmed. Otherwise, I wouldn't come on and say this, because look it up. It is a huge, huge charge. It is, and I don't even want to say an accusation, because evidence confirms it, that they are, and anyone that is living in the El Paso area or along the border in that area, um, absolutely knows that justice has not been served, that the justice system is not working for the people. They absolutely know it. There's so many victims now. And because there's so many victims of their evilness, they just it's hit a precipice. And it's hit a precipice where people can absolutely see the cliff. They can see it. And they know that what we're saying is absolutely true. And that's why we're getting so many phone calls. That's why we're getting so much support. That's why even law enforcement are saying, oh, yeah, the 2028 stamp, that's not kosher. It's not 2028, James Montoya. And it's, and they know how that DA's office has been managed, and they know how the courts have been managed. And there's just so many victims now. And the thing is when you have, get in trouble and you go through a court system, you know, you are, when you get justice, it gives you a peace. Even if you have to pay a fine, even if you have to go to jail for a while, whatever, when you know that you did something wrong and everybody is, being held to account, and you have to pay that price, there is a peace that passes understanding, that just you just can't understand. Because a world without justice is just a criminal syndicate. It's just a cartel network. And nobody wants to live through that because you just have these bloody murders, right? And yeah, and the children, no love for humanity, and the destruction of a country. So this is really important. Let me read some of these. This is wrong. I really appreciate you being persistent and continuing to push the message. Thank you so much, Zach. Alex Jones, Candace Owens, Nino Rodriguez, thank you so much. Please pass this on. They absolutely know. The media absolutely knows. The alternative absolutely knows. I've been on with Owen Schroyer at the beginning a few times. They absolutely know. They even ran an article. They absolutely know this story. They know about the courts. They know about Abbott. They know about Veronica Escobar. They know about the Mayellas. They know about the Mayellas being, the family of Patrick Crusius. They know that Alexis Mayella married Brian Crusius. They know this, and they need to be told it over and over and over again, because one thing we have learned is even the alternative media, they they need to be told over and over and over again. Okay, because they are absolutely ran by the people also. And so they know, and it's really, really big because it's cartel-tied, and the cartel has strings to the CCP. So they know that this is really big. And when you're a big organization, and there's a lot of retaliation, we've been put through hell. I'm just going to be honest with you. So, but they murdered our son. Okay. They murdered our son on Fort Bliss. On Fort Bliss. And the general was complicit. And the CID was complicit. Matter of fact, a CID agent is a prime suspect in the murder of Richard, because there was cartel embedded in the CID on Fort Bliss in Richard's unit. Cartel embedded in Richard's unit. And so, and you have General Michael Garrett being complicit. Okay, and I really just wanted to focus on the two, Governor Abbott and Veronica Escobar, but know that yeah, this has a wider scope of dirty leadership inside our system that we pay for, that work for us, that wear our uniforms, that wear our stripes and our stars. That's our military, that's our equipment, that's our security, right? That's for our national security, for our border security. That is for us, not to traffic and make a load of money so that generals and whoever is on the side of their generals can pocket the money so that they can buy luxury boats and whatever. This is, and they're using our Air Force, our Army, our Navy, and they are absolutely abusing their power, and they're connected to the cartel. Um, uh, Michael Garrett is absolutely complicit. But like I said, I wanted to really focus on Greg Abbott. I wanted that to sink in because he seems to have hypnotized a lot of people. But he's dirty, y'all. He's very, very dirty. And if President Trump wants to do the right thing in Texas, um, then he needs to know it. And I'm sure he does. I'm sure he does. Because Governor Abbott could have done so much, you know. And the Walmart mass shooting case just kind of uh, ended. And all of these people that used and abused it and sucked the money from it, millions and millions of dollars, didn't say anything. It's kind of like when we got the in the line of duty designation for Richard, that he was murdered in the line of duty on Fort Bliss. All the people from the beginning, um, where were they offering condolences? Right? There's silence. Where is Governor Abbott at the end of the Walmart mass shooting? It was the biggest mass shooting in US history, right? Where is it? Where is he? Where is Veronica Escobar? It's it's very clear. Where is Chris Cuomo? Hmm? Where's Chris Cuomo? He was there day 5, August 5th, I mean. August 5th, so day 2. He was already down there squeezing that money. And of course, the court, approved the application for taxpayer funded defense for Patrick Crusius with 0, lying, it was a fraud. The whole statement was a fraud, but they approved it by 5:42 a.m. Sunday morning. The shootings, uh, Patrick Crusius, second time around, um, surrendering was at 11:06. So by 5:42 a.m., he gets an open checkbook for his defense. The taxpayers have to pay millions of dollars to defend him. It's sick. It's absolutely sickening. Yeah. Try to go, try, just ask any other defendant and what they have to pay. It is absolutely sickening what they did. Criminal. Absolutely criminal. And the Walmart mass shooting victims fund. Yeah. And then, of course, you had the COVID funds. Yeah. These are dirty players, and they need to be audited, and they need to be charged for treason. For treason. So thank you so much, everyone. And little upsetting today because we got the hard evidence. We got the indictment from a cartel. It's like you get the proof and you're so happy to get the proof, but it is mixed feelings because it's so sad to know how evil these people are and inhumane they are. And so it is really mixed feelings. So thank you so much. Please share, and we will be back tomorrow, God willing. Thank you.